Welcome back everybody. Let's continue with the SVS Prime range. For the guys that have not been following this, go back. There's been a whole slew of these products from SVS I've been going through, and I just ordered some more today which I did not know was in, but they are in, so they will be coming. One of those will be comparing the sound bass to the Marantz M1 and also the Blue Sound Power Node. That's going to be a nice comparison. I would like to see how those stack up. So guys, quickly explain something. As I unbox these videos, I've not gone into spec deep on these products. Yes, I know them. Yes, I've seen photos, but as I'm unboxing them, I opened this product up with you guys for the first time. When we get to the second round where we do the testing, which I always add in later in my videos, then we can go into spec, because by that time I've actually studied the product, I've listened to the product, I've compared them to alternative brands and competition. So just so you guys know, I will still post the spec as we unbox them of the product, and then again dive a bit deeper when we get into the testing. So let's see, what are we going to do first today? The prime elevations are on top. So let's start off with the prime elevation. As you can see, the Ultra Evolution prime elevation is there. So what we'll do is I'm going to pair them head to head, also play them in stereo head to head, so you guys can see if it's worth the jump going up to that. So let's get into this. Packaging just from the outside, very plain, but normally they are. It's very seldom, like on the Marantz M1, that you would get where they actually made it, you know, a bit nicer on the outside. So on top there we have, again, they give us everything in here, which is very cool. The same as with the Ultra Evolutions. So you have everything in the box you need, from the wall plugs to different 3M little pads if you want to place them on top. It's very cool how they give everything. It's not a lot of products that actually go out of their way like this to include all the hardware, guys. And if I say all the hardware, I do mean every single bracket for every single way that you can mount this thing. It's there, and they do give you absolutely everything, including the screws. For guys that have been even custom installers that do this for a living like myself, you'll know a lot of these high-end products, they give you the speaker. How you mount it, that's your baby. No brackets, no nothing. Even if I compare this to Klipsch's, what is that? Is it the RS something M, that is also the elevation speaker. There's a keyhole mount on that. That is more than most companies give you, but yeah, there's a keyhole mount. Again, like on the Ultra Evolutions, we have this rubber little piece that slots in there to make sure it's all nice and secure and doesn't rattle. It's so cool. But let's get to the speaker. So far, mounting hardware, it's the same on the more costlier Ultra Evolution. So hats off to SVS for going the extra mile, no matter how high up you go in the range. So there we go. Again, let's just show you. They are slotted with that piece on top, a piece in the middle, and the piece at the bottom. You know what's interesting, guys? This is packaged better than the Ultra Evolutions, because on the Ultra Evolutions they didn't have this extra piece in the middle. Like I still commented on the video, if you go back and watch it, something from the side will cause damage, where on this it's correct. Why would they do that? We'll see now as we go down to the bookshelves in the center. But why would you do better packaging on your lower range? It's so bizarre. Apologies. That looked like there was something in the middle, but that is actually the bottom. So the same, just the top and the bottom, no middle section. We'll check now when we get to their bigger stuff. So this is small, so this will be okay. But their bigger stuff like the bookshelves and the center might not be the same case. So we'll check when we get to those. So let's drag this a bit closer so you guys can see. Plastic bag, felted bag. I really like this. Hefty. It's hefty. This is not light at all. I'll put it next to the Ultra Elevation now. Let's first see grill. Again, slanted and shaped with the face. Finish is a black ash type of plastic imitation veneer. At the back, let's take this grill. We'll take the grill off now. At the back port, there's a slot mount. Looks like a 3 or a 4M. We'll see the size of the hardware that drives in there, and that's how you mount it. The binding posts, nice MDF solid construction, very well constructed. Price on these, I'm not 100% sure. I think they were 16,000. I'll correct it. I'll correct it in the description, the price, which is very competitively priced. If I remember correctly, they come in cheaper than the clips, and already getting more speaker for the same money. Nice cover over the tweeter if you're not going to be using the grills, but again, this cover also acts as a waveguide. We have a small little, what is this? Looks like a 4-inch. Where are the 4-inch? Yes, I think this is a 4-inch, but I'll put links in the video again with the size of the drivers. Let's put them up next to the Ultra. Go. Okay, Ultra is much bigger driver. It's got the better tweeter. Okay, overall it is a much more imposing speaker, so we can confidently say there's much more that goes into this out of a build and the driver aspect. So let's put this away again. Yeah, but still guys, I've always said this with surrounds and heights. Depending on your system, if it is going to be a, multi-million rand, or, close to, what is the state's equivalent? Anything more than $100,000, you can skimp a bit on the surrounds and the heights. But if the system is going to be of that caliber, like on the Ascendo system we had our training on last week, then it's worth it. Then spend the money on those heights, because then you'll get that insane impact from a height. But when it's a system like you're doing like an SVS, a nice system, but still trying to be budget friendly, these for elevation, surrounds, heights everywhere is very cool. You can also build a system just out of these all around, but I would not. I would rather do a dedicated center, bookshelf speakers, and then do all of these, and then add your sub to it. But okay, I'm going to continue unboxing all the other products, and then in the next video we'll add in the testing of these speakers also against their bigger brethren. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back. We are back with the SVS range of speakers. Today we are going to be going through the elevations. So you know what, I'm going to take all the grills off so we can go through these properly. As you can see, the Ultras have magnetic grills and the Prime has the little push pins. So what we're going to do in testing these, we will be testing them in stereo, because I believe stereo can show you everything you need to know about a speaker, the way it does certain things, and all of that. So bearing in mind that an elevation speaker does not need a lot of bass. These all have ports at the back, but they do come with the hardware, as I showed in the unboxing, to mount them up against whatever and keep a distance at the back, and even some isolating pads. So very cool that SVS does allow all of that in the box. So straight out the bat, you guys can see the difference. The Ultra has the nicer finish by far. It has the bigger driver, where the Prime only has the normal finish and the smaller driver. Does this mean that going to the Ultra is the no-brainer? No, it does not. 26 or 29,990, I'll put the prices on screen, and 16,990. This is South African rands, so there's a 10,000 rand difference between these. Check your local. For the guys in the US, I think it's about a $500, about a $500 difference between these two speakers. If you are the type of person that really wants everything to match and you have the budget, by all means, put these everywhere. If you want to save a bit of money and you've already spent a lot on your Ultra fronts, your Ultra center, and you want to save a bit, put the primes. Let me explain why. If you are listening to a movie, because these are going to be primarily movie listening speakers, we aren't going to be doing stereo on them. Although I do test them in stereo, because stereo shows everything, but that is not the intended purpose. If you're watching a movie, your main experience comes from the front. That is something that plays most of the time. Center, 80% of the movie. Sub plays through almost the entirety of the movie. Those are the two things that grab your attention the most. Then your front, left and right does the rest, and then surrounds and heights come into play. It's always important to keep your front stage timbre matched and of the same lineage of speaker. But when it comes to surround, when music pans, it's not that important. You get the heights, you get the detail, you get the surrounds. Yes, there's going to be an increase going here, but it's going to be like a 10% increase over these. So it's more about, do you want your system to match? And if you want to save a bit of money, by all means, go there. They mount the same. Are you going to see them? Yes. If they're going to be on display, this looks better. Not that these look bad at all. It's a very underrated minimalist look. These are going to draw your attention more for sure because of the gloss and the angles, and they just look way more expensive. I actually think 10,000 rand more going here is not a bad deal. But if I myself, and I've done this in the past with my clip cinema, going to the lesser R heights, and let me be truly honest, when I eventually upgraded those to the Dts-x surrounds, that cost monumentally more money. I'm talking, I went from a speaker that cost 9,000-ish rand a pair to a speaker that costs about 30,000 rand each, times 4. And let me be honest, guys, there was a difference, but not the difference I was expecting. I was like, okay, I did it, the system is now matching, because I am a matching type of person. I like it all to match, but I was disappointed. They are good, and if you want to build a full Dts-x system, they are good, but it wasn't worth it. And also, we've learned now in time, when you go into proper cinema calibration and stuff like your Lindorfs, or if you go to your Trinovs, they don't like a dipole speaker. They want a direct speaker. They want, because they can't calibrate music or sounds going to the side, bouncing around. They want a directness so they can get the distance from the speaker. But okay, that's a topic for a completely another video. Just quickly touching on why it's not always worth it to upgrade your surrounds and your heights. Next, before we do the demo, let's touch on ceiling speaker versus elevation speaker. I wish I had a ceiling speaker open now so I can show you. I prefer an elevation speaker. You can still put them on the roof. You can put them up high on the wall. You can put them up high on the front. There's just more options with an elevation speaker. I also prefer the sound that comes from an elevation speaker. Why, you ask? A ceiling speaker is up in the ceiling. If you do that, depending on the cavity that you have in the ceiling, there's a big open space, and audio goes two ways. Audio goes to the front, and it also goes in to whatever it's playing. Like on these cabinets, audio goes to the front, it also plays into the cabinet. and then the bass port at the back lets that pressure out. But some audio also goes in, where if you put it in the ceiling, that a lot of your audio gets lost into the ceiling. As you would remember, when I did my Bowen Wilkins cinema, I opted for the in walls because they have a back box. So if you are doing an in ceiling setup and you can get into the ceiling, try and put a box over that speaker. It's just gonna help you not lose a lot of audio. So this is why I like an elevation speaker. It's already a box, it's easier to place. Ceiling speakers look neater because they are flush, slimline, you don't see them at all, where this you are going to see. So that is a hurdle you're going to have to cross and sort of, you know, apples with apples. Is it acceptable? Wife acceptance factor, all of that. But I still believe if it's a dark cinema, you can hide these very discreetly, and even in the living room you can make them look nice, make them look aesthetically pleasing. None of these are ugly to mount. Okay, so I'm not going to go over too much of the rest of the stuff we did. As you guys know, this is the diamond coated tweeter. It makes it a bit less bright than these, but on surrounds, brightness is not your enemy. Brightness on surrounds actually can pronounce itself as acceptable, because if there's raindrops, that little bit brightness, it cuts through the mustard, if you know what I'm saying. So again, difficult. If I was building a system, I think I would save the bucks and go for a lot of these. Go for them as side surrounds, rear surrounds, front heights, rear heights, middle heights, all the heights. I would go for these. But I do absolutely love the look of this. So it's going to come down to budgets as well. In this system, I'm going to be running both of these. I've been contemplating if I should mount them now, because we are going to be changing properties, but that might still be a few months. So I might mount them and take them off later. Still deciding. But okay, for now, I'm going to set these up on stereo. Let's have a listen to what they do differently. Okay, here we go. So we are playing from the SVS Sound Bass out to the Elevation Prime speakers. Here we go. You know what I focus on a lot of this song, having listened to it a lot now, is you hear the pronunciation, well, I won't say pronunciation, the forwardness of that start, and then the mid bass, and then especially I listen for is when that section comes in at the end there's a bit of a sparkle on the side. I hear how pronounced that is and how far out I can hear it. Go back, see if you can listen to it, and just listen to those details. The pronunciation, I keep on saying pronunciation. The forwardness of the start, the mid bass, and the sparkle on the side. That is what I listen to. So let's go over now to the ultras, and let's do the same test again. Okay, SVS Sound Bass, Ultra Elevation. Here we go. just made it difficult for myself. So there's a big difference. There's a big difference. I'm still on the thing that it's just a surround and a high speaker, but there is a big difference. Comment down below if you guys could hear and what did you hear. These obviously sound more forward. This is more detailed. That diamond coated tweeter really is a treat. And then the mid bass was just more relaxed, better. Where this mid bass for me started feeling a little bit forced. That was more just like a long distance runner, just very relaxed. And then when that little shimmer came in, it was also more 3D-esque with the ultras. Where these did a good job, that was just better. So now, going back to my own question, is which one do you use? It's really going to come down to budget. Because you can essentially buy not exactly 2 of these for one of those, but it becomes close. So it's really going to come down to your pockets and what you want to do. I still think these will do a good job, although those will do a better job. So yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What would I do? Damn, I think I'll go for the ultras. I think I'll go for the ultra elevation, not just for that look, but the sound is worth that 10,000 Rand more on them. But then also, I do not want gloss in the cinema, so I think I'd rather go for a matte finish in that. Don't know if you get the normal finish in that. I'll check into that and let you know. Locally here now, we only get the gloss in the ultras, and we get the normal ash finish in the primes. I know you can get the prime and the gloss as well, but we've not had that option here yet. I think it's going to be a custom order. Guys, short and sweet, to the point. I hope you liked this little comparison. If you did, like always, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Helps the analytics out a lot. Doesn't cost you a cent. Next up, I'm going to get the bookshelves here so we can compare the bookshelves in exactly the same test. So stay tuned for that video after this video. Until then, stay safe. Cheers. Bye.